It is finished. When Jesus had received the wine, he said, "It is finished." Then he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. As Jesus speaks these words, is there relief in his voice, or sadness, or joy? Is this a promise or a statement? What are you yearning to be finished? The pain of isolation, fear and anxiety in this current pandemic? Sickness and suffering of ourselves or those we love? Fear and confusion, not just in the present situation, but in our normal everyday life and world. What are you yearning to be finished? The injustice of our world, the abuse of others, the lack of action on climate change, the unfair trade conditions, the prejudice and rejection of refugees. What are you yearning to be finished? Jesus says it is finished, but is it? We know pain, betrayal, torture, suffering and death still go on, not just out there, but in our own families and in our own hearts. We cry out in pain and longing for it all to be finished. Perhaps an understanding of God who refuses to forgive. But we still can't accept God's love, even when we look on the cross. We still can't live God's forgiveness and celebrate God's presence fully in our world. What has finished? Think back over the stories you know of Jesus' life, from his birth in Bethlehem, his presentation at the temple, his baptism on the River Jordan, his parables, healings and teachings, times he spent with friends, times he spent on a boat on a lake, or walking up the hills with his disciples, times he walked on dusty roads or had a quiet night's sleep in a borrowed house. It is finished. But is it? Is the price of God's extreme love really death and humiliation? Do we always kill God in our midst? Today is not a requiem. We know the end of the story. We know it is not finished in this moment. Only just beginning. The old creation passes away. Creation is made anew. And the journey of the next 50 days will see us walking again in the resurrection stories, to be formed as God's community, God's body in the world. Lighting a candle is in itself a prayer. It acts as a sign of God's presence among us, a sign of light in the darkness. It shows our concern. It symbolises our commitment to the world and to God. The candle only produces its light by burning itself. It shows the sacrificial nature of love. When joined by candles lit by others, they become a visible sign of our combined prayers. Today, light a candle at home and cling to Jesus' statement and promise. It is finished.